Let's create a stylish and modern product card for a sneaker using HTML and CSS. The card is divided into two sections. The first section containing the image of the sneaker and a favorite button, and the second section containing some information about the sneaker, which is the name of the sneaker, some information describing it, the price, and a button to add it to the cart. Before we get into it, make sure you are subscribed and leave a like on this video if you want more tutorials in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now let's get into it. In the VS Code workspace, all we need is an HTML document, a CSS file, and the image you are going to use for the product. And this image is located inside an images folder, and that images folder is located in the same folder as the index.html file and the style.css file. So this is all we need to get started. In the HTML document, you have this pre-written code as the boilerplate for a standard HTML5 document. And in the head section, we have the title of our document, a script element that I copied from Font Awesome because you are going to be using an icon from this website. And then a style element I copied from Google Fonts because you are going to be using the Poppins font family for the font family of our text. And then we have a link to the CSS file. In the body of the HTML document, first create a div section with a class name of product container. And this will be the containing div for all elements. Inside this product container div, we have another div section with a class name of product image. And this will contain the image of the product and a favorite icon in order to favorite the product. So in this div, we have an image element, and the src attribute should point to the file path of the image. So in the images folder, we have this image.png file and an alt text of sneaker image to describe what this image is. Next, we add a label element, and this element will contain the icon and a checkbox. So we add an input with a type of checkbox so that when you check this checkbox, we can highlight the image. And then we go to the website of Font Awesome. And we search for the heart icon. You're going to go with the classic regular heart. Copy this I element and paste it inside the label element. And this is what we have. And that is it for the product image. Now, outside the product image div, but still in the product card, we add a div section with a class name of product text. And inside it, you have an H3 element with an inner text of Adidas Samba Original. That will be the name of the sneaker or the product. Then you have a P element with a class name of info. And this will contain an inner text. So I have this pre-written inner text, so copy it and then paste it inside. Next, still inside this product text div, you have another div section with the class name of footer. And inside this footer div, we have a P element with the class name of price. And it will contain the price of the sneaker, which will be $69.99. And then a button with the class name of button. And it will contain the inner text add to cart. And that's it for the markup of our product card. Now in the CSS file, let's add some styles. First, you select all elements and remove the default margin, the default padding, and set the box sizing to border box. Next, you style the body. So we set the minimum height of the body to 100 VH. And then we want to centrally place the whole container. So set a display property to flex, justify content, and align items all to center. Then they set the font family for the text inside the body to the Poppins font family that we copy the script elements for, and add a fallback font of sans serif. Then you change the background color of our body. Next, you start the product container div. So with the class name of product container, set the width to 90% and the maximum width to 400 pixels. Next, you change the background color to a linear gradient. Set the border radius to 15 pixels. And you add a box shadow of 1 pixel to the right, 1 pixel to the bottom, and a 5 pixel blur and a black color. Next, you set the overflow property to hidden because we don't want any elements overflowing from this container. So any overflowing element will be hidden. Now we set the display to flex and the flex direction to column. This is what we have. Next, you start the product image div. So with the product image class name, set the width to be 100%. That will be 100% of the total width of the product container. We add a padding of 80 pixels for the top, 0 for the left and right, and 50 pixels for the bottom. And we set the position to relative because we want to later attach an element to the product image. So with the product image, any image element, set the width to be 75%. Set the transform property to rotate by negative 30 degrees. This will rotate the sneaker. And then we set the display to block and set the margin to auto so that this sneaker will be directly in the middle of our card. Next, you start the label inside this product image div. So the product image class name, any label elements, set the position to absolute, and this will take it out of the normal flow of the product card or a document. And since you set the position of a product image to relative, that means this label here will stick to the product image div. So the top position, you push it from the top by 20 pixels and the right also by 20 pixels. So it will be in the top right corner. Now in the label element, you first start the input with a type of checkbox. So set the display to none to make it disappear, but it's still there functionally. We can check or uncheck it. Next, in the label element, you start the eye element, which is the love icon or the heart icon here. Increase the size and set the color to white. Next, change the background color. And add a pattern of 8 pixels. Then you rounded the whole box by setting the border radius to 50%. And when you hover over it, we need a human hand, so we set the cursor to pointer, as we can see. Now when you check our checkbox, we want to highlight this heart icon here. So with the product image, any input elements, when it is checked, and we use the checked pseudo class, what happens to any icon elements which are a sibling to it? So set the transform property to scale by 1.2 and you add a box shadow of 2 pixels blur and a black color, as you can see. Then inside this declaration block, we add a transition for all the properties 0.3 seconds ease. And this is what we have. Next, we start the product text div. So the product text div, change the background color to white, set the border radius to 15 pixels. Then we add a padding of 20 pixels. And set the display to flex direction to column. Set the align items to center. Centrally place our text. Then we add a gap of 10 pixels between the flex items. Next, inside this product text div, what happens to any H3 element, which is this H3 element here? So we set the font width to 600 and set the text align to center. Next, we start the p element with the class name of info. So with the product text div, what happens to any p element with the class name of info? So set the font size 1.1 rem, set the text align to center. Set the text color to a gray color. And we set the line height to 1.1. Next, inside this product text div, we start the footer div. We set the width of the footer to 90%. We set the display to flex. And we align item center. And set the justify content to space between, so that there can be some space between the price and the button. And we set the margin top to 10 pixels. Now in the footer, we first start the price. So with the footer class name, any element to the class name of price, increase the font size to 1.4 rem. And we bold in the text by setting the font weight to 600. And the text color, we change it to a purple color. Next, with the footer, style any elements with the class name of button. And change the background color to the same color, the same purple color we have here. And the text color to white. Then we add a padding of 10 pixels for the vertical and 35 pixels for the horizontal. And we increase the font size to 1.2 rem. Remove the border and set the border radius to 10 pixels. Then when you hover over it, we need a human hand, so set the cursor to pointer. Now with the button, when you hover over it, we want to move it to the top a bit. So set the transform property to translate y by -2 pixels. Again with the button, when you click on it, so we use the active pseudo class we want to decrease the size or make it shrink. So set a transform property to scale by 0.95. When you click on it, it decreases in size. We add a transition to it for all the properties, 0.3 seconds ease. And this is what we have. So yeah, that's how to create a stylish and modern product card using HTML and CSS. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. I'll see you in the next video.